Everybody. Happy MLB All-Star break. I thought for fun, just because there isn't a whole lot else going on. I've spent a million hours on golf research, which I'm really excited about the Open. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the MLB All-Star game and just sort of what I'm doing. I'm not playing many lineups, but wanted to talk a little strategy. Number one, obviously, you can leave money on the table. It's a very, strange high variance situation. You probably don't want a lot of starting pitching. I do think Scherzer at 5K is kind of interesting because you can get there with the strikeouts against the AL team who at the top does strike out quite a bit. Maybe he can get you 9 points or so before he exits. It's maybe a little bit generous, but at least give him a chance for 6 or 7. As far as hitters go, I'm not really looking at too many pitchers. I do think that like a Walker Buehler, especially with Dave Roberts being the manager, has a chance to maybe come in at the right time to potentially get the win. So he's the other one I'm looking at. For hitting, I think Tatis is going to be really popular. He makes sense as a captain. You can afford to do whatever you want. But I think what you want to try and do is get at least 2 guys in your lineup who are not in the starting lineups and try to leave money on the table in the large field tournaments. For me, I don't mind going with the Dodgers here. Again, Dave Roberts is the manager. Chris Taylor is not going to be popular and he's cheap. Max Muncy, and of course Walker Buehler, who I mentioned already, I think is an interesting pitching option. I like Vlad. I think that you want to try mostly to stick with the NL. I think that the pitching is a little bit better in the NL than it is the AL. So personally, I'm finding myself with 4-2s or 5-1s for the NL in the NL's favor. My favorite AL players would be Judge and Guerrero and Otani, of course, but I don't. I think Otani probably gets 2 at bats in this game, maybe. So don't feel like it's a lock or anything, but I do like Otani quite a bit as well against Scherzer, who will challenge him. So those would be my favorite American League bats, and my favorite National League bats are the Dodgers, Juan Soto, who I expect to get quite a bit of playing time, as well as I mentioned Scherzer on the pitching side of things. And there's a lot of other guys we could choose from. I don't want to, name every player on the list, so it just feels like it wouldn't be the positive thing to do. But I do like getting the guys who are off the bench. Joey Gallo, it would be another American League bat I would look at. Matt Olson, Jose Ramirez. Those would be my favorite AL ones for the NL side. I think that Eduardo Escobar, another one just because he's going to be so low owned, and I expect him, of course, to get on the field. And that one at bat, that's all you need, really. Brian Reynolds, who's actually starting, so guaranteed to probably have at least 1 at bat. That feels pretty good at the minimum cost. And Aroldis Chapman would be another American League arm that I think I would consider using, as well as Liam Hendricks. Those are two pretty good options there. And these guys could end up getting the win and getting you there with a couple strikeouts in the win. So I really like those guys. The other NL bats, most of the NL bats I have in the starting lineup or Dodgers or Soto. Those are my main ones. But I do think that, Brandon Crawford is going to be low owned at his price and could end up playing, a decent percentage at the later part of the game. One thing that's happened in the history of these all-star games is you get a manager who will play teams who are competitive in their division, like the Giants, for example. They'll tend to play those guys a little bit, it feels like. And just historically, that's sort of been the case. I'm not saying I can guarantee it or anything, but that is sort of how I see it. And then I would probably pass on Trey Turner for some of these other guys, but I do think Trey Turner is always a great option as well because he might go out there and steal you a base, sort of along the same lines as a poor man's Tatis. So mostly what I'm doing are the Dodger guys. Like I said, I do like Crawford on that as well off the bench. I like Soto off the bench. By the way, Soto's just such a great hitter. I mean, it's really rare to watch a guy in a home run derby who's impressive. Like he was like spraying the ball. He's just such a good hitter. He can just like line it out anywhere. Nobody has a lower trajectory on their home runs in baseball than Soto. I just think he makes a lot of sense here. Not a whole lot of strategy to get into. It's going to come down a lot to what the managers do, which I think will be game based and sort of highly variant based on that. I didn't mention Garrett Cole, but he would fit the Max Scherzer thing. Max Scherzer, of course, is starting, but Garrett Cole would have the chance to come in and potentially get the win, especially if he does something crazy, like strikes out 4 guys in a row, which we know is possible. The only other guy I haven't mentioned yet is Zach Wheeler, and I think that with his strikeout rate, just if he gets in even just for an inning, and if it happens to be the right inning, maybe he gets the win. But also, he strikes out. His strikeout rate is as good as anybody's in baseball, and another guy I expect to be overlooked a little bit, as well as the Chris Taylor, Walker Buehler combinations. Those guys are really solid to me, just because I think Dave Roberts will give them a chance in some key spots. And that's what you need to win these things. So obviously the starters: Tatis, Guerrero, Otani, Muncy. Those are my favorites. Aaron Judge on the other side, Freddie Freeman. But I do think that you can mix in some of these guys off the bench that I think are really stand a better chance. And if you're playing a pitcher, you generally want to play a pitcher off the bench. The only reason I exclude Scherzer a little bit is you have some strikeouts in that AL lineup, and he could go 2 innings, strike out 4 guys, and get you your 12 to 14 points. Even if he goes 1 inning, gets a couple of strikeouts, end up with 7 points. You're going to want some sure points if you're going to use the pitcher. But I don't know that you want to I don't know you need to do that. And I would not play 2 pitchers in any lineup. I would play 1 pitcher maximum. I also think the closers, the Liam Hendricks, the good relief pitchers, the Hendricks, the Soto, the Aroldis, Chapman are the guys I'll be using. So just wanted to do a quick video because I'm getting kind of bored here. So thought I would say, hey, what's up to you guys? Hope everybody's doing well. And good luck to everybody out there. Hopefully somebody will take down the this really weird all-star slate, and then we're going to crush golf this weekend. So got some videos coming out on that. Don't forget to check out truedfs.com. We don't have all-star game projections or anything because it's really basically impossible. It's going to be a feel thing. But we do have all of our golf stuff should be uploaded in the next few hours. So I'm really excited about it, and I've done more research probably than I've ever done for a golf tournament, and feel like I'm really getting the hang of this. There's obviously a million great options because it's a major. That's what happens. But I have some strong takes. So Sheets and I will be getting into it soon. And yeah, good luck to everybody out there. We'll see you hopefully at the top of the leaderboards.